Sunday! Every Sunday, side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Regarino and Joe D calls them as they seize them, and you better believe them. Hear relevant news, biased opinion, and outright nonsense regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp with mechanical trickery never before broadcast over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrilled to the explosive tension as Ray and Joe cuss each other down track, barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disasters as shake hands for the devil. All that and so much more at high noon this Sunday on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and the Live Eat, Ray Carino and Joe D. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free every Sunday at noon on WHBC. Take the Hempstead Turnpike to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the no parking on the expressway and no express service on the Parkway side. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Ski there!
All right, from a guy who doesn't know his two from his three, you are now listening to Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show with Ray Guarino, who doesn't know his two from his three.
Or why are you sitting on your elbow?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Joe D, co-host, wingman, and confidant to my right. And in the studio today, we have two guests that are great. Great fellas, this is an every year thing. We have
our annual visit.
It's an annual visit, right? We have Mr. Elliot Wiener, and we have Ken Weinberg from the T-Bird Club of
Long Island Thunderbird.
Long Island Thunderbirds, and Tony, the T-Bird owners of New York.
Right.
Okay. Fellas, this is great. Of course, we miss seeing Dennis this year. Dennis isn't with you. He had a prior commitment, and we always had a lot of fun with him.
And hope he's listening.
I hope so, too. So we're here to talk about your show, which is upcoming, and it's a conglomeration show between the two clubs.
Yes, it's a week from today. It's July 9th at the Key Food Shopping Center in Kings Park. If you're GPSing it, it's 58 Indian Head Road in Kings Park.
Okay.
This will be our 12th year, and we're excited. We have over close to 70 cars pre-registered already.
Wow.
So if Mother Nature is nice to us next Sunday, we should hopefully double that.
That is, and you guys always do have a good. You always have a good turnout.
Yes, we do.
You know, but the pre-registered usually doubles.
Yeah, that's usually the formula. But what's interesting about the show is it's the both clubs on Long Island that do this.
Now, why was it both clubs? Explain to people who may not know. They think, "Wow, one club is big. How could two clubs put a show together?"
Well, we wanted all the Thunderbirds that we could gather in one place. And in order to do that, both clubs had to get involved. And the other club is Thunderbird Owners of New York.
Tony.
Officially known as Tony. Right.
We got to say that as Dennis would say it, because Dennis has the affliction of being Italian like we do, so he can say, "Hey, Tony."
It's
inflection, not affliction.
I'm sorry. You know, some would say it's an affliction.
No, you're sick. You know that.
Yeah, but I digress.
Yeah.
Hey, so
what's really good too is if I could just talk negative for a minute, we've lost our sponsor this year, which is Ford Lincoln of Huntington. He did commit twice to us, and at the last minute backed out. But we decided to do the show ourselves and fund it ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're not going to become rich and famous doing this, but we'll be fine.
Excellent.
And then there's a rumor that Alan Leon, who owns most of the BP stations on Long Island and is a good friend of ours, has got us involved with a hopefully potential sponsor for next year.
That's great.
Yeah.
And, of course, Alan has been on this show. It's been a number of years ago.
Yes, he's an alumni, yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a while ago, but we had him on, and he was on our promos for a while, too. So he's certainly a guy that's very helpful.
He's a great guy. He's been to our meetings twice, talks about oil, more oil,
right,
and some gas.
See, we talk about olive oil. But
mostly on pizza.
Yeah, or whatever, Joe. It's olive oil goes with everything.
That's true.
Yeah, I put it in my car. I drive a Fiat, so that's why I put it. Aliulia.
It's the universal lubricant.
Of course.
Fix it again, Tony.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah,
Okay.
feudal Italian attempt at technology was one that I heard that kind of stuck with me, which was a lot. But although I digress, we're not here to talk about that.
Okay.
The car is actually a pretty damn good little car to drive.
Yeah.
But I guess it's an old one.
Yeah, that's right. You could, God bless that thing.
Yeah.
It serves as a pickup truck, too, from time to time, according to your emails.
It's a hauler. Yes, I haul stuff in it. I don't have a truck, so I make my convertible a pickup truck.
Yeah, but now Fiat has grown. It's not the little puddle jumper anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what. Fiat as a company people didn't realize this, was always pretty big.
Huge, yeah.
In Europe, they were always big. GM at one point owned, I think, 33% of it back even through the 70s and 80s. And now they, of course, look what Sergio Marchionne has done. He's bought Chrysler. So,
Yeah, seriously.
So let's see if Sergio's on the phone. We'll push this button and say, hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey guys, Bob from Rockville Center.
What's up, Bob?
I'm going to be going down to U-Haul, so I wanted to get my quick little T-Bird story, and so I'll be listening to you on the air. Had a neighbor that I used to deliver Newsday to, and he was rebuilding a 57 T-Bird, and I wanted to ask you guys to tell me more about that 312. I think he had two carburetors on that.
That was a Y block, yeah.
And then they also, he had brought that entire thing down to the metal, so I was young, I was watching him do it. Mm-hmm. And also his hardtop, I think, had a window in it, side windows. So I think it was a 57. 57,
now,
is that right?
Okay.
Is that the last year of that style?
Ken, you're shaking your
Yes.
head. I know that there was certain year. What was the dictum for the hardtops? Which one had the porthole? Which one didn't?
57.
57
at the hard.
Yeah.
did, okay.
And the,
Yeah.
and the
Amazing car
56,
guys.
yeah, the 56 had a Continental kit,
Okay,
which the 55 didn't.
right. Right.
You mean the rear elongated bumper and tire?
Yes.
The diving board
he,
is
yeah,
used
he
to
didn't
call.
have that.
Yeah.
Had some legs, too. Had some legs.
Oh, yeah. I know they used that 312 up into, like, 58. I know the 58 T-Bird had the
Yeah, they
that
put
engine in
they
it.
put that same engine in Crown Vics for that same year, I think.
Okay.
Did they make that? I'm trying to turn the pages. This goes back a while. Did they make that 312 in automatic or they manuals?
Both.
Okay, I think his was an automatic for some reason, but such a long time ago. But it was a great T-Bird memory, and I wish you guys a happy 4th.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate
Bye, guys.
it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. As Bob going out to do some U-haulage.
Yeah.
So we'll...
Chores on this fine day.
Always. Hey, listen, it's the 4th of July weekend. There's always something to do. I know I got a ton of stuff I've been doing and I still have to do, so that's just the way it goes. But back to the merger of the two clubs.
Yes.
As I remember in the past, I think he was saying one of the clubs had a smaller roster than the other.
The Tony is probably up over 90 members. And right now we're hovering around 53, 54.
Okay.
For some reason, the world loves the little birds.
Yes, and we know that you have the big one.
I have the big one.
We will reveal what that big one is when we come back after this phone call. And we say, hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, Cliff.
Everything.
What's happening?
I got a Thunderbird question. So
Yeah, how to sell Danny's.
that's what you call don't go to an auction when you're drinking.
Right. Well, I was telling these guys before the show about that car, and I had sent Elliot the link, so hopefully it'll pass around. And
You raised your hand and you bought it.
right. So what's up,
Break
Cliff?
it, you bought it. I have a question actually. Rick, our friend Rick.
Yes.
He had back in the day. We had bought an old show car from the early '60s. It was a '55 Ford convertible, green metal flake paint job, crazy car.
Nice.
Probably was done like in the late '50s, early '60s on the show circuit. Then it was like a barn find. It was probably not on the road for 25 years after that, and it had a 312 Thunderbird motor in it, but it had these carburetors. It had I believe it was dual carburetors, and they always referred to them as teapot or teacup carburetors.
I've heard something like that. Yeah, I've heard reference like that.
Was that basically? I guess that was an aftermarket. It wouldn't have been something stock to the T-Bird, right?
No, wrong. What Ford did, they came out with E-Birds and F-Birds. One had a 2 4-barrels, and one had a supercharger. So
This had two small carburetors, and I remember very hard to find the rebuild kit for them, and everybody referred to them as I think it was like teacup carburetors.
You got a Standard Motors look up there, Joe? Because on the 312, they have to be very small.
Yeah.
They were too small. And then my second question was, how many Thunderbirds you think back in the day got stolen just for their motors?
Oh, sure.
Because it seemed like a lot of customs have Thunderbird motors.
Well, then again, you know, like a Corvette, you can always take the valve covers, stick them on a non-T-Bird engine, say, yeah, it's a T-Bird motor, like you could say it's a Corvette engine, you know. But I was going to say, speaking of the Corvette, the early Corvettes with the 265 even had 2 4-barrels.
Yeah,
they used WCFB carburetors. They were heavy. I rebuilt a few. And they were like 450 CFM a piece. So, you know, and so a small block would hold that.
I'm going to take a picture of that old motor from that car's gone a long time, but I'm going to have them send you a picture of that.
I love when you send pictures, Cliff. Just don't send any pictures of possums. All right?
All right, got you.
All right. All right, Cliff. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Good guest today. I love when you have the clubs on.
All right. Thanks, Cliff. All right. That was our great friend of the show, Cliff. Always got a lot of information. We got to get him back in here again. I want him back in the
definitely.
seat.
Yeah, we need some. Now it'll be the Mopar guy's turn.
Actually, well, one of Cliff's buddies is supposed to call us about his Special Olympics show from actually Long Island Camaro Club. It's a Long Island Camaro Club event I found. So,
no kidding.
Elliot, before the next few minutes pass, tell us about your big one.
I own a 1976 Thunderbird. That's the last year of the big birds.
Oofa.
Yeah, a couple of isms that I use. I say, my car never passed a gas station, didn't like. And my door, one of my doors probably weighs more than your car.
You're right. You're right.
They all came with 460s, but they were all detuned 460s.
And what's the weight of that car?
The exact weight is 4804.
Okay, wow, yeah. Yeah, 2 tons.
It's 2 tons.
That's something.
2 tons of fun.
Yeah.
But I bought the car in 02. Just last September, I was in Lehigh Valley for a show, and show was over. I go to put it in drive, and it wasn't going in drive.
Oh.
So they said to let it run for another 10 minutes, let everything heat up.
Right.
And then the show car fairy was watching over me. It went into drive, got it home, and I've had the tranny rebuilt since. So,
okay.
Yeah. So it's all over. I've been to Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan with that car.
That's nice. And I know you get, when you bought that car, the next thing you had to buy was a wide-angle lens. So you could photograph it because it is big. Kenny, what do you drive?
I have a 65 convertible.
I like 65.
Nice. I like
my favorite. Yeah.
Kenny's nice car.
How long have you had it?
Oh, about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. First year with the sequential turn signals.
Yeah.
And,
I love the back seat, the way it wraps around. That was
Yeah.
always one of my favorites. What color?
Wimbledon white.
Okay. And the gut?
Tan.
Oh, nice. That's different. White and tan. I was thinking black, yeah.
Or red.
Or red, yeah. Wow, very nice.
That's a beautiful car.
It's a very nice car.
What's the production on that? Do you know how many were made like
About
that?
6,200 convertibles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the problem is the top.
That's like your car, Elliot, but a little older and with the top that goes down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's Big Bird is Big Bird.
Yeah, absolutely.
People kind of equate when they see the car, they go, "That's the president's car," you know. So
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, very cool. That's it's good stuff. It's I never had it. I never owned a T-Bird.
Me neither. I mean, I've had a couple of times I was interested in them, but just things didn't line up. I mean,
Right.
I would have liked one of them big birds, like the mid '60s birds. I think they're cool.
I like the square birds too. I like the ones from like the 58
58 to
times.
60,
I
yeah.
like those also. I kind of, I was never really a Ford guy, but some of the cars I liked, like a Baby Bird. Even that one that Danny has with the stick, I would drive that car. I would drive it with a stick.
Well,
It doesn't bother me.
What some of the people do, they've taken the automatics out of their 57s and put in a 5-speed.
Oh yeah. Sure.
They don't care that the numbers don't match. They just want what they want.
Yeah, if you can do a resto mod, sure.
Yeah, if you don't have to butcher the car too much, that's always an option. I think. You know what I mean? You don't want to take a good. You don't want to take a perfectly good original car and like hack it to crap.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
But then you can't drive it either.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to hack this to crap. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll probably be talking to Nick. We'll see. Hang on, Motormouth Radio, Ray, Joe, we got Elliot and Ken, and we will be back in a minute, so keep it where you got it.
90.3 WHPC wants to make sure you haven't been putting your heart under too much pressure lately.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and your heart can quit whenever it wants.
But when it quits, you quit.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death.
Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure.
A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.